When we were 15, I remember car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light. We're getting older, there's a sparkle.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Iris Podcast. Yes, the Iris Podcast. I finally made my way around every single show now within Tranquility Start hosting. I am Booth. I'm going to be your host tonight. I am joined by Bowsy and by Apathy. Welcome both to the Iris Podcast. We had quite a week here, week 12 here in the Tranquility community. Going to be a little bit of an interesting week. We're not going to have our upper tier brackets play. It is their bye week currently. I believe there's one match that's playing in the Transcendence tier upper bracket, but
I think
that's
we're
just
supposed to
because.
keep that a secret.
Okay, you didn't hear about it. Nothing happened. But anyway, all lower tier brackets this week. We're going to be diving into those matches here tonight. But before we do, we're going to be going over some rapid reactions here of some of the events here in week 2 of our playoffs. Apathy, why don't you walk us through your first rapid reaction?
Well, everybody filled theirs out first, and there was a lot of Harmony tier, so I tried looking at Trance tier, and there was nothing. It was just very boring rematches that all went the same way. So the best I've got is in Discord tier, Renegades on their current win streak. Kind of upsetting, I believe. I mean, Quaka and then Rampaging Inferno, arguably both upset wins. So let's see if they can continue this upset streak coming into their match versus Joey, which is a little bit more daunting than the previous two.
All right, Bowsy, why don't you walk us through one of your rapid reactions?
One of my rapid reactions just has to be both of the first seeds in the Harmony tier getting upset and losing this weekend. Strix beat Big Bang Buccaneers in a map 5 situation. And Luminous Foxes did the exact same thing. Both of the first seeds now for Harmony tier in the lower bracket need to make their way through the knockout bracket to make the championship.
Then, my first one, I'm going to really look down to the EU here. Venice Vipers upset over Apollo. Probably one of the biggest upsets in the EU this season. Not many people had that one picked up. So they're going to be going on against Feeders United in a couple of weeks, and is going to send Apollo, first loss of the season, down to the elimination bracket. They're going to be fighting against Thunderbolt Rewind this week in the EU feature match. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the first time really being on the back foot. But Venice Vipers really turning things around. That preseason finalist spot, had a pretty good season, ended in the 5th seed, but I don't think many people saw them winning over Apollo. Apathy, another rapid reaction.
It's kind of the same thing. It's about Apollo versus Venice Vipers, but not really about the match. Just the sportsmanship on display for allowing one of the teams had a DC issue, and instead of trying to scramble for a ringer last minute, the teams just agreed to play on another day, both at full strength, and I just think that that's really commendable.
That is really nice. Always great when you see teams doing that there. Bowsy, what's another reaction on your side?
It's kind of similar to like other sort of things here, but similar to yours here, Booth. But I was interested in the Discord tier, and I saw Oreo Fleet starting to make a really good lower bracket run after a very rough stage number 2, coming back and showing that they really still have power in them, beating Ragnarok Fenrir and Storybook Heroes so far in the playoffs. They're looking like a scary dark horse right now to try and make that championship bracket from the lower bracket.
That's right. We have a bunch of teams going to be fighting for those spots, and 2 of them, and the last one I'm thinking of here is the Poseidon versus Redacted match this week. Poseidon's been on an absolute amazing underdog run so far. We're actually really happy we're going to be able to feature that match on Thursday now. Got that figured out today. Thank you for the GMs for pushing over so we could feature that. Our first time this postseason where we've had 4 features in a week. It's tough to get them scheduled, so excited we get to do that. And I'm really happy we get to see Poseidon play like this. I think them and Oath have been really the underdog stories, or like the stories you weren't expecting to really make it this far. And Poseidon has to be the lowest seeded team still in the playoffs at that 10 seed, right? Or pretty.
Yeah, they're 10 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lowest seed, I think, still in the playoffs. So excited to see them get through. But we're going to break down those matches. We're going to break down all of the lower tier matches in this next segment. We're going to call "Why Will They Win?" So what we're going to do today is I'm going to assign a team in every matchup to both of our hosts here. They're going to give us a reason. They're going to tell us why that team should win. And then we're going to ask them both afterwards what their predicted score was going to be. They don't have to predict for the team that they ended up fighting for just a few seconds earlier. So it'll be interesting to see how our groups start with that. But we're going to first go to the Harmony tier here in the EU. Our first matchup, our featured match this week on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. CET. That's 2:30 p.m. EDT. We're gonna have the number 7 seed Thunderbolt Rewind taking on the number 1 seed Apollo. So, all right, let's start with Apathy with this. Apathy, give me a reason why Thunderbolt Rewind's gonna win.
So usually there's kind of two ways that a undefeated team will react to losing and getting upset, which is that they will bounce back even stronger and harder than before, or they will kind of mentally boom and fall apart a little bit. So Thunderbolt Rewind's chances are definitely hoping for the latter, especially if they can potentially take control to start off the series and keep Apollo as boomed as possible. They might be able to clutch out the series.
All right, Bowsy, give me some gas here for Apollo.
They definitely are a talented roster. We cannot deny that. Obviously, teams have off days, and I feel like that last week it was an off day for Apollo. They definitely still have the star power to win. Most of their roster is end of season award receivers, so they definitely have that star power, and they definitely have the potential to bring it back here. I think it's going to be Apollo taking it.
Well, so with that then, Bowsy, what is your predicted score for the matchup?
I said a 3-0 win for Apollo.
All right, then Apathy, what's your take there?
3-1 Apollo. The one that Thunderbolt Rewinds was not control, so that was the one that would have made an impact.
There you go. Both our analysts going with Apollo there in that matchup. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday to catch that one. All right. Our other matchup in the EU side, we have number 9, the EU Scrimbucks, going up against number 6, Paid to Win. Let's start with Bowsy on this one. Bowsy, give us a reason why EU Scrimbucks are going to win.
So EU Scrimbucks obviously have had a very rough journey up to this point, especially in stage number 2 when they went to map 5 in 2 of their situations. But now they are finally finding their footing, and they're coming off of a really good hot streak, especially after beating the Hellhounds 3-0 last week. I think EU Scrimbucks are going to ride the momentum to try and. I think EU Scrimbucks definitely have the potential to try and ride the momentum here.
All right, Apathy, give me a reason for Paid to Win to win.
I think if Hungary on that support role can carry a little bit more consistently, and the rest of Paid to Win can play through him and help them win, I think they can take enough maps to win this series.
All right, so Bowsy, what's your prediction for this matchup?
I said a clean sweep again for EU Scrimbucks.
3-0 for the EU Scrimbucks. Apathy, how about yourself?
I'm sticking with the 3-1, but also EU Scrimbucks.
A 3-1 there for the EU Scrimbucks. One of those 4 teams will be advancing on from the lower bracket. Got to win out here these next 2 weeks. Gonna be fun to see who ends up making. Sorry, actually, both. Let me do the math on that in my head.
No, I
Yeah,
think
okay.
only one. Yeah, only one.
Only one's gonna end up making it through that. Gonna be fun to see. Yeah, because we'll have a bye then for the winner of Venice Vipers versus Feeders United. The loser then of that match would play against the whoever makes it out of the lower bracket. So that is your EU Harmony tier. Our 2 matches there. Couple more matches now as we transition here now over to the NA Harmony tier. Our first matchup tonight, though, we're going to get into is number 7 Nemesis versus the first seed Big Bang Buccaneers. Apathy, why don't you start here with us? Why will Nemesis win?
Big Bang Buccaneers is coming off of a tough loss, and they're going to be without Beth tonight, so they have their ringer coming in, and that ringer is going to have some pretty big shoes to fill.
It is the Ringers had quite a lot of experience with in the playoffs here in Tranquility. Has quite a resume going across the board there, but interesting to see. That's a pretty key part of any team that she's on. The Beth Bombs run deep. But Baldy, why don't you give us a reason why the Ringer situation would work here for the Big Bang Buccaneers?
So definitely, this is not the first time that we've seen two situations coming out for the Big Bang Buccaneers. The first is when they lost in a map 5. They lost in week 2 to Luminous Foxes in a map 5, and since that loss up until last week, they have won every single series in very decisive wins. This trend I feel like definitely could continue, and especially week 7, they also did not have Beth, and they still were able to get a win over Amateur Professionals 3-1. So I feel like Big Bang Buccaneers, you're in a good situation here up against Nemesis, and I feel like they can definitely try to make a comeback. So don't count the Big Bang Buccaneers out yet.
All right. Well, you want to give us a score to that prediction there?
I predicted a 3-1 win for the Big Bang Buccaneers.
3-1 there for the Big Bang Buccaneers from Bowsy. 3-1 and Big Bang Buccaneers from Bowsy. I say that a couple times fast. That's a fun one. Apathy, what is your prediction here for Nemesis versus the Big Bang Buccaneers?
3-2 BBB. I think they're going to redeem themselves in the map 5.
Both of our analysts there sticking with BBB in this matchup. Going to see if they can continue on here and make a run in the rest of the lowers bracket. And then in our next matchup here, we are going to have number 4, Geometric, going up against number 2, the Galactic Penguins. Bowsy, give us a reason here why the Galactic Penguins would win.
It is no doubt that Galactic Penguins have a very strong roster, and it's worth noting last week when they faced off against fire-breathing Rubber Duckies that they were without their off-tank Sticko for the first 2 maps. When Sticko came in, they almost reverse swept. They lost on the final map, but brought it a 2-2 and brought it to a map 5 situation. Along with this, Geometric, the team that they're facing off against, was in a map 5 situation against Wildfire last week. And it definitely is going to be interesting to see if they can recover from that and if Galactic Penguins can try to take advantage. Again, also not to mention, week 5, Galactic Penguins beat Geometric 3-1. So I think Galactic Penguins definitely have a better track record when it comes to this matchup.
All right. And Apathy, give us a counterpoint here. What's the reason why Geometric could win?
So I think Galactic has gotten better about not booming after losses with removing one of their DPS players, but that also makes them a lot less flexible. I mean, Chobi is kind of a full flex DPS player, but they don't quite play as much projectile characters as they used to anymore. And especially the Mei might be lacking. So I feel like Geometric might be able to run them over on Brawl and just abuse Mei as much as they can, because I think Brawl has been one of Galactic's weakest comps so far this season.
All right. Then who do you have coming out in this matchup here, Apathy?
I am going to go 3-1 Galactic, though.
3-1 for Galactic Penguins. Bowsy, how about yourself?
Same score, 3-1 for the Galactic Penguins.
Similar scores, same scores here from both of our analysts in that number 4 versus number 2 matchup. All right, getting to our third matchup here in the NA Harmony tier, we have number 7 Chrysalis versus the number 1 seed, the Koala Kings. And if you're interested in this matchup, of course, Tuesday night, that's tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be featuring that here on our channel, our first Tuesday night NA feature of the season. Very excited to be able to get that out to
The
everybody.
playoff season, you mean?
Of the playoff season, yes, excuse me. We've definitely had a bunch on Tuesdays this season, but our first one here in the playoffs. Looking forward to that one. Let's go ahead and start with Apathy. Give us a reason here why the Koala Kings would win.
I mean, they had a close loss against arguably another top 3 team in the tier, and they definitely have the talent to bounce back and take out a team like Chrysalis for sure.
Definitely a favorite for quite a lot in the playoffs, so not a surprising way to go with them. But Bowsy, give us a reason here why Chrysalis could be getting an upset.
So Chrysalis are an interesting team. Their last 3 wins, all 3 of their last 3 wins have been in map 5 situations. So they definitely have a clutch factor, but they need to utilize it better when it comes to the situation. If they're able to fine tune that, then I feel like they could definitely take the advantage here. Not to mention they have the star power. Sergeant Pepper and CTW are probably 2 of the strongest people. If they're on their A game when it comes to this match, Chrysalis are not to be underestimated.
Not to be underestimated. But all right, Apathy, give us a final score prediction here.
I've got 3-0 KK.
3-0 for the Koala Kings. Bowsy, what is your prediction?
As much as I like Chrysalis, 3-0 for the Koala Kings.
Would be quite an upset to see Chrysalis coming on top of that one. But we will luckily be able to see tomorrow night, just about 24 hours from now, a little under that, a fun broadcast planned for that one. So make sure you're tuning in. All right, then our final Harmony tier matchup of the week. We have the number 4 Jersey Boys going up against number 6 Frost Nova. Bowsy, how about you walk us through here why the Jersey Boys will win?
So for those who watched the feature match last week where Shake and Bake faced off against Jersey Boys, you will know that aggression is going to be the name of the game. Jersey Boys definitely loves to dictate that aggression. They do a really good job of it. And I feel like if they're able to do that, then this match should be handed to them.
A very aggressive team, to say the least. If you look over the roster, that'll be that's all the that's all the reminder of it that you would need. All right, Apathy, give us a reason here for Frost Nova.
We all know how hyped up Godzilla is on that Reinhardt, but I think as Zeno plays very quietly to a very similar level, and especially the flexibility that Godzilla doesn't really have, able to do a little bit more on the monkey and the ball for sure. So I think if Frost Nova can abuse some Sombra dive comps, maybe with that ball or even the monkey, I think they can take this series.
All right. So seems like two pretty evenly matched teams here. Again, the number 4 versus the number 6. So Bowsy, why don't you give us your prediction?
I said it in bracketology. I stand by it here. 3-2 for the Jersey Boys.
3-2 for Jersey Boys, a map 5. Apathy, what's your prediction?
Also map 5, but going the way of Frost Nova, 3-2.
3-2 for Frost Nova. So I think our first time we've had a disagreement between the two here, but both deciding on a map 5. So a close one, to say the least, in store in our final Harmony tier matchup here in the North American region. All right, so this is the part of the show where we would normally do our montage, but we don't have a montage set for this week. We're working on having one prepared for next week. So instead, we're going to be bumping our comms check up. You still have until our next video segment. We have a special in memoriam planned, created by Bowsy later on here in the broadcast. So you have until then to get in your submissions to try to redeem your prize this week. Make sure you guys are redeeming those Trank bucks if you can. So again, you still have some more time here, not just the comms check, but a big thank you to Phoenix for prepping this comms check.
Yo, we need our comms check clips in. What are we gonna do for comms
We
check?
already do have a couple down.
No! Me! I want to be in comms check now! Shut!
Whenever we run the comm, and we don't drop the spaghetti, and we actually stay on the picks of the comm.
So here's what we do. It's like a hybrid map where we have to walk all the way to point and then U-turn and come back and swap.
No, that's only for casted, and not on COD.
Since we're on hybrid, remember we walk out halfway out of the spawn doors. We take a U-turn back and switch to our real comp. Speed back in.
What's my real hero?
Literally sounded like a nut moment.
I hate Canada. How is that be a nut moment?
Canada.
I hate Canada.
I grown up without speaking English.
Something's in my...
Do not care about points. Do not care about points.
Good. Listen, put the Glock away.
Die or dive?
I want to dive into your pants.
Oh.
Hey, yo. Okay. Bro.
That's it.
That's a comms check moment right there.
I'm lagging way too much. This is actually embarrassing.
You're doing your job.
Yeah, you're doing your job, Daddy.
You're doing your job, Daddy.
Get David's pepper.
For some reason.
There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
You know, a neat fact I learned about Ozzy Osbourne when I was in middle school is that shut the up, QZ.
Diva Cafe.
Stagger, don't kill. Stagger, don't kill. Stagger, don't kill.
I got a hammer kill. Carry Mac. Come here.
Why is it always Shrine starting on?
It's first alphabetically. Believe it or not, out of the default maps.
No, it's Sanctum.
Oh yeah. I forgot the tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker. You're gonna TP Pearly right side and try to walk first the two teams.
Yep.
Nice, you know.
Oh, 6
That is 6-man. Moon isn't quite up yet.
I was
When
gonna-
Moon is up is when Zeno can pop off on ball.
I was gonna
But-
say the moon isn't in like Mercury retrograde. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a waning crescent today, so yeah, it's a waxing moon.
It's waxing. Oh, what's waxing?
Okay.
Is that 6-man?
Yeah, that's monkey.
And that's a monkey.
New moon is just Ryan. The full moon is when I play hog.
And what stars are there out today?
Now the blue moon. The blue moon is when you play hog.
You're right.
Hey, there we go.
What happens during a solar eclipse? Oh, I don't want to know.
Solar. No, solar.
Eclipse, I go back to DPS.
Yeah, solar eclipse. People just swap roles. We end up putting you on main tag. Zeno goes back to playing DPS.
No, when the solar eclipse happens, Overwatch 2 comes out and Zeno's playing Doomfist.
All right. Thank you so much there to Phoenix for a wonderful comms check there. Yeah, again, big shout out to Phoenix there from the Big Bang Buccaneers.
We learned a lot. It sounds like based off that last prediction, it's really just going to depend on the phase of the moon. Apparently, I was talking about as Xeno's
Get out your
fall,
astral
but
calendars. We have to check everyone's rising sign, and maybe we'll
can't
know
play
how
that
the
all the
matchup's
time.
gonna
I
go.
guess.
All that astrology knowledge is finally coming to use.
Finally,
We'll see.
it had its use, and it was for the playoffs. It probably would have predicted better than me actually trying to predict my bracket, like off of thoughts or scores or something like that. Everyone's bracket's dead. Crab emoji. Okay. Discord tier. We got through both of our Harmony tier groups now. Now we're going to get in to our Discord tier, then follow up by a Transcendence. Remember, get in those giveaway entries. Those are going to close when we start our In Memoriam for the week. So we still have 2 more tiers for that here. Tell all your friends in Scrim so that way they can hop in and get them in here pretty soon. But all right, let's get into our first Discord tier matchup. We have a highly anticipated one for some, just because some of the players playing against each other. We have number 6, Space Created, going up against number 5, the Quokka Queens. We're going to start with Apathy on this one. Apathy, give us a reason here for Quokka to win.
It's going to be a stage 2 rematch that we saw on feature, and Quokka did end up sweeping that, technically with a draw, but still a sweep, a 3-0. And I think Quokka, despite their loss last week, they still have the best DPS lineup in the entire tier. And so as long as the tanks and the supports do even just half of what they need to be doing, Matson and Reborn should clean up from there.
Saw them go against Joey Esports last week. Definitely one of the favorites in the Discord tier. So Quokka still looking pretty strong here. Now, Bowsy, give us a reason for that upset for Space Created to take the win.
So obviously Space Created, they do still have somewhat of a power of a top team. And after last week, they got a big win over a red hot Hammerhead. They definitely can try to continue this momentum to try and get the win this week.
They're going to need momentum on its side. Apathy, what is your prediction for this matchup?
Another 3-0 for Quokka, maybe a draw. Probably not. Let's stick to no draws, no Bard.
No worry. And then we have Bowsy. What is your prediction?
I also said 3-0 for the Quokka Queens, but now that Apathy said that, I'm going to say a draw.
A 3-0-1.
Of course.
Potentially.
Well, sweeps across the board there planned for the Quokka Queens in that rematch. Our second Discord tier matchup here in the lower bracket for this week. We have number 8, Domination, going up against number 3, Rampaging Inferno. Rampaging Inferno in a tight game last week. So Bowsy, give us a reason here why Rampaging Inferno could take this win.
I have said it before, and I will say it again. Rampaging Inferno is a dark horse pick to make the championship bracket, and they've been really strong against top teams since stage number 2, including Domination, which in week 8 they beat in a clean 4-0 sweep. I think they can get the job done here again if they're up to their game.
All right. Bowsy going off of that stage 2 matchup. Apathy, give us a reason here for domination to win.
I think if Classy Turtle on the Diva can lock down Marco of Rampaging Inferno, then Brent and Foxer should be able to take it from there, and I think they could take a really close series. You just got to keep Marco under wraps, really.
Keeping Marco under wraps. All right. So, Bowsy, what is your prediction for, again, number 8 domination versus number 3 Rampaging Inferno?
I predicted a 3-1 win for Rampaging Inferno.
Keeping the streak alive there for number 3 Rampaging Inferno. Apathy, what is your prediction?
I've got 3-0 for the one Furnos.
The one Furnos.
One
Always
Furno.
it was a lot of fun seeing that name for the first time when I was looking through our package of logos, and I was like, "Oh, Cav never has a spelling mistake. He's always on it." But of course,
I remember actually when I originally gave that, like, accepted their application and gave them the welcoming message, I also thought it was a typo, so I typed out regular Inferno, and they corrected me on it, and I was just like, oh, well, my bad.
Well, there you go.
Happens to the best of us.
Well, they're gonna. So far, analysts here predicting them to continue on to be a pain in our spelling check backsides for another week longer. There, we'll see how they do again this week. But all right, moving on to our next matchup, and this is going to be our Thursday feature match. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we have number 10 Poseidon. Definitely one of the dark horses, the storyline, the lowest seeds still remaining here in the playoff brackets so far, going up against number 5 Redacted. Bowsy, how do you give us a reason here for Poseidon to win?
So obviously, Poseidon has had a very rough regular season, but they are finally finding their footing when it matters the most in these playoffs. They're gathering up the momentum, and they've already taken 2 big upset victories so far. They definitely are a team you should not be sleeping on right now.
We'll see if they can continue on with their streaks here so far. But Apathy, give us a reason for Redacted to finally put out this flame.
I think these two are kind of deceptively similar-ish teams. They can play a lot of variety of comps, but their strongest and the thing that they default to, especially when they're struggling, is both going to be 6-man. And I think if this match ends up going to be a 6-man mirror, Redacted has shown a lot more polish on that comp, and so I think they can take this.
All right. What is the final score there for you, Apathy, for this matchup?
I've got a 3-1 for Redacted.
All right. And then Bowsy, how about yourself?
I have a full sweep 3-0 Redacted.
Redacted coming out on top in both of the predictions here. But make sure you tune in on Thursday for our featured match to catch this one. Excited to see both of these teams go at it here. And then, all right, our final Discord tier matchup of the week and our featured match on Wednesday this week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We have number 8 Oreo Fleet going up against number 3 Oath. All right, Apathy. Give us a reason here why Oreo Fleet would win in this matchup.
I think Oreo Fleet, they had a kind of a weird stage too. I mean, that B pool in general was very weird with what, nobody really came out of it very cleanly and everybody kind of beat each other. And it was in the middle of a rebuild for Oreo Fleet. So now they kind of have that cohesion. They've finalized their roster. Obviously, they can't change it anymore. And I think Concept and Blinded can carry them from here.
All right. And Bowsy, give us a reason here why Oath, one of the dark horses from stage 2, is going to stick in the playoffs after this week.
Yeah, Oath, obviously, they did get that win over Oreo Fleet in stage number 2 in a 3-2 matchup, and they definitely have had the firepower to try and beat them again, already getting a big upset in the first week of the playoffs over Valkyrie. I think Oath is definitely a strong team that you should not be underestimating, and, I like that Oki power.
Very much. All right. So, Apathy, what is your prediction for this matchup?
I'm going to go 3-1 Oreo Fleet, unfortunately. I think the lower bracket or the underdog stories are going to be ending this week.
3-1 there for Oreo Fleet. Wow, I said that wrong. Oreo Fleet. Sorry, my roommate got these hazelnut Oreos, and they were not very good. They're pretty bad. So the name, just when I think of it now, I think back to those hazelnut Oreos. Bowsy, what is your prediction here again for the number 8 Oreo Fleet versus number 3 Oath?
I am predicting the underdog story to continue. A 3-2 win for Oath.
Bowsy predicting Oath to come through. Our second time our analysts have gone against each other here. You're going to see who was right, who's going to come out on top again. Make sure you're tuning in on Wednesday for our featured match this week. Really excited to see these teams get to play. It'll be Oath's first time on broadcast this season. But that's going to finish up our Discord tier. We have just the Transcendence tier here left before we're going to get that giveaway entry drawn. So please get those entries in as soon as you can. But all right, let's get into our final tier here, our Transcendence tier. We're going to start with our first matchup. We have number 7, Puerto Rico, going up against number 5, Insidious. Let's start with Apathy here. Apathy, give us a reason why Insidious is going to win this matchup.
I think Insidious is probably like, I would argue that they're the 5th best team in Trance, so they're right on the cusp of that top 4. It's just unfortunately that the top 4 who are currently in our upper bracket are kind of on a whole nother level. But I think compared to everybody else, Insidious is a clear top team, and we should see them continue winning until they get back to the champ bracket to challenge those top 4 again.
All right. Now, Bowsy, give us a counter argument here for why Puerto Rico is going to come out on top.
I've constantly been dubbing this team as the Map 5 Kings. And after last week, they ended up getting a big win over Throwing a bad revenge match after their stage number 2 loss to them. They definitely seem like they can contend with top teams when it matters the most. And I would not count out Puerto Rico when it matters the most right now.
All right. So, Apathy, what is your prediction here for this matchup?
I don't think they get to map 5 or 4. I think it's a 3-0 Insidious.
Clean sweep there from Apathy for the favor of Insidious. Bowsy, what is your prediction here for this matchup?
I say they go to map 5, but the map 5 Kings will fall. It's a 3-2 win for Insidious.
Map 5 Kings taking a turn for the worse here. Both of our analysts picking Insidious to come out in this matchup, but that again should be a pretty fun one to watch. Our second matchup here in the Transcendence tier, we have number 4 Reckless Sigma going up against number 6 Carnage. Bowsy, give us a reason here why Carnage will, on paper, have the upset.
Yeah, Carnage are finally starting to wake up again. They're starting to find their footing against those top teams. They did lose to Battalion 3-1, but that's better than their stage number 2 result where they ended up getting fully swept. I still feel like they can make a lot of big wins. They can recover from this and be able to try and make that championship bracket as a result.
All right, and then Apathy, tell me why Reckless Sigma is going to make it through this week.
I think Sigma just plays like a more complete team. They're very cohesive. They just have excellent teamwork and coaching. Reckless, definitely known for that. So I think they're just not really going to fall into Carnage's pace at all and just keep their gameplay solid, keep their tanks synergized, and clutch out the win here.
Reckless Sigma, very strong team. We'll see how our analysts decide this matchup's going to go. Bowsy, what is your prediction?
As much as I like Carnage trying to get the upset win, I stand the Reckless Org. A 3-2 win for Reckless Sigma.
Bowsy sticking with Reckless. Apathy, what is your pick?
I've got 3-1 for Sigma as well.
Both of our analysts sticking there with Reckless Sigma. I think I almost said Cigna earlier. I want to not say not the healthcare company, Reckless Sigma.
The Overwatch hero, not the healthcare company.
No, the Overwatch hero, not the other one. You got to stick with the game. All right, that's our number 2 matchup there, getting predicted. Now we're going to be getting in to our third matchup, here in the Transcendence tier. We have number 3 Uzumaki going up against number 5 Reckless Arcadia, another team here from the Reckless org. If someone's been around before, Reckless Alpha, another team previously from that organization, but Arcadia and Sigma definitely not names that would be unknown to someone with Trank history. But Apathy. Actually, let's go with Bowsy. Bowsy, give us a reason here why the Reckless org will continue this week and why Arcadia should win.
I have constantly said it before. Reckless Arcadia is one of my upset picks for the top 3. They're a really good group of players. They have Nick Jr. coaching, who was the coach for Reckless Alpha last season. Not to mention, they've also beaten Uzumaki before 3-2 in week number 5. They definitely can do it again if they're up to par.
All right, Bowsy giving us some reasoning there for Reckless Arcadia, but Apathy, give us a counter argument here for why Uzumaki can win.
So Arcadia just fell in a sweep versus Epizeuxis, and I think Epizeuxis can be kind of a tilting team to play against just because of how fast they play and how easily they can outpace you. So I think if Uzumaki can just try to mimic that and play as fast and aggressive as possible, maybe they can trigger Arcadia into playing pretty sloppy.
All right. So Bowsy, what is your prediction here?
3-2 for Reckless Arcadia.
Then Apathy, what would be your prediction?
Similar vein, 3-1 Arcadia. Same
Both
thing for
right.
the whole Reckless games.
Yeah, Reckless taking all 4 of our predictions here so far. A 3-2 for Bowsy and a 3-1 for Apathy. And that's going to take us to our final matchup of the week. We're going to have number 4, the Billings Boomers, going up against number 6, Zeus. All right, let's start with Apathy here. Apathy, give us a reason here why the Billings Boomers will win this matchup.
I think that when Chief is in really good form, regardless of what role he happens to be playing for that map, he can go head to head with most of the DPS players in Trance tier. And that would include Dragon, who I would say Dragon himself is one of the best hit scans in all of Trance tier. And I think as long as Chief can deal with Dragon, Zeus don't really have much else to work with.
Alrighty, and then Bowsy, give us a counter argument there. Give us a reason why Zeus will win.
So this might be a hot take, but Billings Boomers are the weakest marsupial org team in Tranquility. Period. They have never taken down a top Tranquility team thus far. We've always said like this is their time to prove themselves. They've never proven themselves. They've never taken down those top teams. Zeus, I argue, is borderline top. So it may be a very tough challenge for Billings Boomers to try and get the win. I would not count out Zeus in this matchup whatsoever.
Are you saying they're worse than KK, or you don't mean like head to head? You mean respective
In
to the tier?
in terms of like in
Pound
their
for
like
pound.
group,
I
in
see.
terms of their
Pound.
tier, in terms of their in terms of a tier that they're ranked in, they are the worst marsupial team.
It's fun. You could throw the flyweight up against the heavyweight and see how it how it scales up on the sides.
The heavyweight would probably win.
Heavyweight would probably.
Hey, you never know.
Hey, yeah. If someone have a special day on Sombra in the 6-man, who knows? But yeah, Zeus, being that team from the A bracket, A tier, the A group in stage 2, Billings Boomers in that B group getting the win in B. But all right, it's gonna take us down to our final predictions here. Apathy, what is your prediction here for this matchup?
I've got a 3-1 for the Billings Boomers.
3-1 for Billings Boomers. And Bowsy, our final prediction of the night.
I originally had this 3-2 for Billings Boomers until I realized all my Transcendence tier matches were 3-2, so I said 3-1 for Billings Boomers.
You can't keep them too consistent. Got to keep everyone on their toes. But 3-1 from both of our analysts there in our final prediction of the night. That is all of our lower bracket games in this week. We're gonna again have our upper tier rejoin us next week in their head-to-head matchup. But all right, that is all of our predictions. This is the very last time. Please be spamming those giveaways right now. You have another couple of seconds here until we're going to be doing our drawing for giveaway. But before we end up signing off on our broadcast tonight, we have an in memoriam prepared for us here by Bowsy to say goodbye and good night to our teams that are no longer with us. Rest easy. Thank
Trevor's
you
gonna
again
get
to all
mad
our
at me.
teams, all in fun there. Thank you to Bowsy for creating that one, but I'd like to just say thank you and goodbye to our teams after they get eliminated here. So yeah, again, thanks to Bowsy and thank you for all our teams for taking place this season so far.
Trevor's gonna get mad at me for doing a salute wrong. I don't know
Yeah,
how to
I
do
think
it.
we all did it. I think I held mine up first, and I probably influenced them wrong on that side.
No idea.
I didn't look at you, so I didn't know what it was like.
I was just will go up to her around the house and do that to make her angry.
All
Oh,
right.
yep, there she is.
All right. Well, that's gonna about wrap it up here for us. We have, of course, 4 featured matches this week. We have the Koala Kings versus Chrysalis. You'll find that tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the channel for our NA Harmony Tier featured match. Then for the EU at 8:30 p.m. Central European Time or 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, you're going to have Thunderbolt Rewind going up against the previously undefeated number 1 seed Apollo. And then on Wednesday, you're going to have a Discord tier matchup of Oath versus Oreo Fleet. And then finally on Thursday, we're going to have Poseidon going up against Redacted. Excited for all 4 of our matchups this week. And then on Thursday, you'll get to see and hear a little bit more of me. Our final beat drop of the season is going to air. We are going to have Basilics. We're going to have Swifters. We're going to have Clem and Twists on the show. So make sure you're tuning in to hear about them. We're going to be having some season 9 info drops very soon. So please stay tuned. Keep an eye on that announcement channel. We're going to do a little bit of talk about that on the Iris podcast at some point. So make sure you're all keeping up onto that. The Tranquility Clash going to be starting on the 15th. That is, if I remember off the top of my head, that is Sunday.
Yes.
That is, of course, our League of Legends mini tournament that we're going to be putting on. So very excited to finally have that underway. A lot of great work behind the scenes from Gios, from Beth, and Mr. Yeti to get all of that prepped. So very happy and excited to be able to give you guys a little more game content here outside of Overwatch. And then, all right, finally, we have our drawing winner for the week. Can I have a quick drum roll, please? Your winner is, with only 21 entries, Obi Kenobi. Obi, congratulations. We will be in touch here soon about your giveaway win. Congratulations. But thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Noah's a little different of an Iris podcast this week, so big thank you to Mr. Yeti for getting all the things prepped for us, and then of course to Bowsy and Apathy for joining me tonight and going through all of their predictions as we broke down all of our lower bracket matchups this week. But for all of us here at Tranquility, thank you so much, and we'll see everybody soon.